Recording start. Hello, everybody, if you are watching this later on YouTube. And hello again, everybody on Twitch. Looks like this is a shorter dev diary this week, so we're not going to spend 2 hours on it, which will be nice. A little more time to get to the end date with this current save, and let's hop on into it. I forgot music. I have not gone over this again. I've just very briefly skimmed it to see how long it would be. Music volume needs to be adjusted. Okay. Twitch on Chrome is being shit. I'm so sorry. That sucks. I've heard things about the app, and unfortunately they're not good, but I haven't used it yet since they changed it, so I don't know. Pardon me. Alright, everybody, let's take a look. Looks like there isn't an app in the Windows Store? That's weird. I swear I have it, so... Oh, in the Windows Store. I'm thinking of the Android Store, or the Google Play Store. I don't know. I don't know anything about a desktop app. Alright, art and music. Hello, Luca Ribeiro here, 2D art lead of CK3, here to share with you the results of our art struggles. It's a good phrase for that. To represent both the awesome splendor of Byzantium and the mud-splattered travels of medieval adventurers. Very evocative. It's a good start. Start off with the first thing that will greet the player in Roads to Power: loading screens. Before picking a definitive subject matter for our loading screen, we created mini composition studies. We went for themes such as nautical, imperial, religious, and triumphal. I'm already loving these. I mean, I know there's a focus on composition here, but that is the first thing I see. Like, these are very... This is very evocative. This is the kind of art I expect to see. If I do go over anything a little bit too quickly, feel free to check out the Dev Diary for yourself and go through these things at your own leisure. We are going to be pausing briefly to look at art for most of this, it seems like. Emperor stands on a galley armed with a flamethrower and inspects the fleet. Imperial Comitive struts through the Greek names again. Leon, a palace waterfront, receives foreign dignitaries standing under the Leon. Emperor returns from victorious campaign and receives a triumph. One-eyed man guides an army of blinded soldiers of the defeated enemy. Emperor is crowned, a religious debate between Orthodox and Catholic priests. Emperor is crowned in the Hagia Sophia, and another religious debate. Coronation in the Hagia Sophia and the Imperial Comitive. We're gonna have to go to Google for this because I think I'm saying this wrong. Okay, we have no free pronunciation. Or no Google pronunciation. Word is now obsolete. That's why I have not And this site has a paywall. Great. Wiktionary, save me. Plural of comitiva. Group, party, company, or conveyance? Interesting. Hey Viper, good to see you. Oh, I understand how they're using this word here. Okay. Comitive. Coronation, the Hagia Sophia, and the Imperial Comitive striding by the docks were picked as the best ones. As a next step, we created color sketches based on the chosen compositions. You can see the results here. So here we have, I would almost call this a delegation or a retinue. But I understand the different nuance. Watched a Dev Diary reading this morning from Ludi and he kept mispronouncing Ogeron so badly it climbed on my back. I don't know if Ogeron is correct, but that's the way I've always said it. This is neat too. I like this angle. After some debate, we decided that the coronation had the most unique and striking composition out of the two. I agree. But since the team liked the Imperial Comitive color sketch so much, we decided to save it and use it for the bureaucratic dynastic legacy. It's the way you expect it to sound? Fair enough. Dynastic legacy based on the rejected color sketch. See if we can get in here a little bit. Oops. Spoilers. I like the progression here. From the docks to the courtroom. Very cool. Story event illustrations. To mark great events that happen to the world or player characters, we had originally introduced story event illustrations for Fate of Iberia. These dramatic splash screens would pop up anytime something happened during the Iberian and Iranian struggles. For Legends of the Dead, the format of these illustrations came back to represent major disease outbreaks and the Black Death. For EP3, we decided that these evocative images would be fitting for memorial events such as triumphs, restoration of Rome, and in the story of Hereford the Wake, the harrowing of the North. Hereward the Wake. This sounds familiar to me, and it may have just been mentioned in a previous Dev Diary, but I'm not remembering what story they're referring to. Anglo-Saxon nobleman and leader of a local resistance to the Norman conquest of England. Ooh. A Juran? Oh no. Yeah, I've always said Ogeron. Or Ogeran. Hereward the Wake. This sounds cool as hell. I'm gonna leave this Wikipedia page open and read about this guy later. Event backgrounds. While we had generic Mediterranean background images, it felt like they were insufficient to represent the peculiarities of Byzantine culture. The team thus made new versions of for the feast, market, throne room, study, temple, and relaxing room. This allowed us to represent some Greek peculiarities, such as the use of lavish recliners on their ostentatious feasts. Ah, these aren't individual images. This is gorgeous. I mean, this is sufficiently Byzantine. This study is beautiful. I want to live here. This marketplace is gorgeous. I feel like I don't have a lot of nuance to say about some of this art. I think it's just very pretty. A view of the Crystolic Klinos also uses the main menu background for Greek characters. Byzantine study. Governors will be pondering administrative dilemmas in this office. Greek market full of color and exotic goods. Traveler will probably stumble onto this during your travels. Orthodox church or holy site. Striped walls really give it away. Church or holy site? Oh, the striped wall, yeah. Greek relaxation room. It's impossible to relax without some marble and mosaics under your feet. So true. Byzantine feast. Reclining chairs allow for maximum decadence, albeit back pain. The Hippodrome deserves special attention as we have a background looking down from the stands into the track and one close by the track directly. We saw these briefly in the last Dev Diary, I believe. We wanted to make sure you would feel in the middle of the action when the chariots were neck and neck, racing to the finish line. Hagia Sophia could not go without receiving their own unique background as well. As first we considered having the camera on the walkway. Our hope was to show the scale of the edifice this way, but our designers informed us that these were normally reserved for female visitors only, so we opted for a different composition. Hilarious. This is very pretty though. Oh, this feels much grander, actually. This was the right call. Constantinople is the focus of many new events, both of doom and glory. Accordingly, we have made the appropriate backgrounds. You have the Hippodrome from the walls nearby, it seems like. The city on fire. From the same location. We put a lot of effort into trying to get everything in the right position in the city by following reconstructions and historical references. I love that kind of shit. Our adventurers also demanded new backgrounds. Their camp life is represented by a variety of views of their encampment, by day or night, outside or inside. Pretty. Love the colors on these tents. Same spot during the day. Ooh. Something very evocative and mysterious with this one that I quite appreciate. This one I think we've seen before as well. Animation. In Roads to Power, our environment team and animation team work together to give our characters even more life, with new animation and assets for them to wield or ride on. Here's some of the highlights. He's fucking riding. Charioteers will ride on appropriately colored chariots, according to their team. The Emperor flaunts his shiny stick to remind everyone who's the boss. It's true, you do need a shiny stick when you're the boss. That's just logic. We've added around 30 new animations or variations of older animations. Some of these will be applied in place of the regular idle animation the character usually has to present their newfound situation, such as when they are incapable or imprisoned. Some counselors will also change their animation depending on what tasks they are assigned to at the moment. Hopefully this will make the characters feel more alive than ever in Roads to Power. We also expanded on event visual effects. Instead of using blink videos like we did in Legends of the Dead, we have opted for shaders that are a lot lighter. The new event effects include earthquake, heavy smoke, sandstorm, rainy fog, and lightning storm. What was that flying across in the corner here? It wasn't my mouse. Nope, there it goes again. It wasn't my mouse. I looked away for a second. I'm gonna catch it this time. What's that? That is a mouse. It's their mouse. Why is the child summoning a sandstorm? I was literally about to say that, and then I saw a mouse fly across the screen on this GIF, and it completely distracted me. Thank you for making the joke for me. I'd be pretty scared if this kid was summoning a sandstorm too, though. Child is a Tyranitar. Initial experiments for the estate screen. Oh, the thing they did looks so much better. I mean, these are clearly placeholder assets, obviously, but... Settling on a style for the domicile screen was quite a struggle for the team. At first, we meant to have them be very similar to locales as in the tournament screen. While this would make for a more internal consistency in art style, for 4 reasons we decided to deviate from this initial plan. We wanted this to not be full screen, as unlike the tournament screen, we did not mean to take the player away from their plots and immerse them in the event. The domiciles in estates and camps communicate directly with your actions in the game world and should be convenient to navigate. This made for a smaller screen and thus a more symbolic representation of buildings, and their purpose would work better in their medium. Great call. Secondly, we felt that our 3D environment team's efforts were better used elsewhere. It was unlikely we could have created cultural variations of buildings while depending on them. Keeping the work exclusively on the 2D artists expanded our capacity to make more buildings and have cultural variety on top of it. Yes, cultural variety, tell me more about that. Third, the domiciles operate in a totally different way from tournaments. Visual similarities would incorrectly communicate to the player that they should function the same way. And I do want to go back too with this reason is actually something that really discourages me from sending my character on hunts and going to tournaments and weddings, because it pulls you away from what you're focused on, and everything is now about that event that you're at, which can be distracting, and it can be a little confusing if you're bouncing back and forth between, say, a war, which I guess it should be. You shouldn't be leading a war from a wedding. Or plots, or whatever else is going on. So I think this is working as intended, but it is discouraging for me to use these events. So I think this is a good choice. Fourth, the team fell in love with the mock-ups we presented in the medieval art style. The nondescript isometric buildings ended up paling in comparison to the charming illustrations we had come up with. Yeah, this is great. We've seen this before, but these assets are fantastic. Estate buildings have different visuals according to culture. For now, we have Western, Byzantine, and Minna themes. Minna? Middle East, North Africa. Okay. I hope they had more before launch. Because this is not sufficient. We need India, we need the steppe, we need Sub-Saharan Africa. We need West Africa, we need East Africa. We may even need Eastern Europe and or Northern Europe. Camp buildings are the same regardless of culture, except for the main text, which has Western, Steppe, Tribal, and MENA themes. Besides variation of buildings by culture, we also wanted to reinforce the sense of place in the world of the domiciles by creating different backgrounds that change according to the position of the estate or the camp. We need Mina's theme Polish. Estate background can be dry, green, jungle, rough, and urban. Interesting. Besides variation of buildings by culture, we want to reinforce the sense of place, creating different backgrounds that change according to the position of the estate or the camp. Dry, that's your deserts. Maybe your plains, although plains could be green. Drylands, desert mountains. Rough is mountains and hills. Urban is farmland? Green and jungle seem self-explanatory. That's playable in CK3 already, right? Yeah, I'm just saying we want unique assets for certain groups. Well, camp backgrounds can be dry, green, jungle, rough, snow, and snowy mountain. Okay. Dry, green, jungle, rough. Well, the Greeks showed less propensity to utilize coat of arms in the fashion we observe in Western Europe. They did attach to the identity of their family certain symbols on their coins, murals, and reliefs. It makes for an interesting variety that they would claim not only secular imagery inspired by Greco-Roman myths, but also Christian religious symbols. Their connection to the sea would also inspire many aquatic motifs. Thus we can see mermaids, Ohippotaurus, and manticores side by side with Jesus, Mary, Archangel Gabriel, and St. George. These might be adorned with crosses, stars, or shells. Oh, St. George, I saw there. There's another St. George. Anything? Gabriel, maybe. I saw the bear. There's the bear again. Dragon. Manticore's probably not a dragon. These are cool. I think we've looped. Maybe not. That doesn't look familiar. Ooh. Oh, we got a Starbucks logo. That could be something. Slutty mermaid. Randomly generated Greek coat of arms. Cool. Ooh, I don't even know what this is. Apparently it's character art related. With Roads to Power, we had the chance to greatly expand the Byzantine wardrobe, which was historically quite distinct and interesting looking, and very notably different from surrounding cultures. As usual, our work began with collecting references, preferably from first-hand contemporaneous. I don't remember how to say this word. I know this word, I do not remember how it's pronounced. Hold on. I know, just give me another pronunciation, fine. Contemporaneous, that's it. I figured it out. From first-hand contemporaneous sources, but we also looked for modern books and other material that focus on the subject matter. Special shout out to a book called By the Emperor's Hand by Timothy Dawson. Contains a lot of interesting research and conclusions, amazing research even. A snapshot of a small part of the Miro board put together by Nils and the character's art team to collect references for anything related to Byzantine clothing. Oh, I see what this is. Okay. Yeah, I've done something similar recently. Well, I was involved in making something similar recently. Awesome. There are quite a lot of both first and second-hand sources that survive from the Byzantine Empire. Perhaps not too surprising considering how vast it was and for how long it survived. Of particular to note here are the Coptic garments that have survived in fantastic condition through the centuries in graves from Byzantine Egypt. Actual extant examples like these provide the best type of source we can wish for, and there are dozens of them. Many of them do predate the game by some margin, but we can see in the 9th and 10th century manuscripts and mosaics that clothing in the same style was clearly still in use by our early start date. These are beautiful artifacts. That's incredible that this is still intact. I love the map on here. Wow. Gorgeous. Some examples of Coptic tunics that have been excavated from Byzantine era Egypt. Here we see very similar looking tunics depicted in the Paris Gregory from circa 880 and from the Paris Psalter from the mid 10th century. Following what was stated with Western European clothes for tours and tournaments, we decided quite early on that Roads to Power should also include different clothes for late and early eras. This fits especially well with the new 1178 start date. Byzantine characters by that time will look quite different from those 300 years prior. Since there are very few preserved items of clothing from the later time period, we base these designs primarily on depictions in manuscripts and mosaics. From the Minologion of Basil II, 11th century, which is a side note, is filled to the brim with these beautiful and disturbing paintings of saints being brutally tortured and murdered. Fun. People being burnt alive, babies being skewered, with everyone else looking slightly bored. And the Madrid Scrilazzis from around 1150. Since we're depicting a lot of the creme de la creme of people of the time, we are always looking for suitable bling to add as accessories to these objects. This expansion was no exception. Again, we turned to primary sources of jewelry that have survived to the present day. These are gorgeous. I have a real soft spot for things. For old things. I think there's a certain power in something that's just survived, that was built to survive and has done so. And these make me emotional. Some spectacular Byzantine jewelry from museums around the world that we recreated for Roads to Power. Like, it's gaudy and awful, but the fact that it's survived. There's that human connection from so long ago. Part of why I married an art historian. Fair enough. We then created concept art to synthesize these disparate sources and fuzzy imagery into a more concrete form the 3D character artists could base their work on. Okay. So this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. All of these outfits are gorgeous, actually. After we finished clothing showing a comparison between the early and late eras, yeah. Oh. Why is this baby so large? This might look a bit funky, but we have to create many blend shapes so that the clothes can morph along with the characters as they age and get thinner, fatter, or muscular. Right. Makes sense. This is hilarious. I understand what's going on, but this is hilarious. We were grateful for the opportunity to bring to life so many memorable headgear and accessories of the Byzantine world, such as the Proploma hat or the Imperial Delmekion with diatherma. Many of them have their proper medieval Greek names in the barbershop. Oh good, more medieval Greek. Overall, we've added 8 new hairstyles, 4 beards, 18 clothing sets, 2 armors, 3 sets of legwear, 4 cloaks, and 24 different headgear. This great variety layered on top of the original assets from the base game will make each character in the cast of your personal Greek drama be unique and memorable. Good job, guys. Love this. This is sick. Patterns. Thanks to the fortunate survival of many textiles from the Byzantine times, we had our pick of the litter when it came to which trims and brochades to represent. It was more a matter of choosing the most characteristic, unique, and interesting ones. Unlike other patterns, we have used a new type of texture map setup where the bottom part of the median trims is used for rondelles. This permitted us to have specific bits of the pattern transform from a trim to a framed or roundish composition. Cool. I kind of understand that, but I'm just going to trust them on it. This is the trim. This is the framed rounded composition, I believe is what they're saying. And the trim is from, oh no, trim right here. Yeah, like I said, I sort of understand. The Byzantine throne room was a daunting task undertaken by our 3D environment team. Our objective was to represent the Christanthelinos, the main ceremonial hall of the Great Palace of Constantinople. Unfortunately, the palace has been destroyed and there are no contemporaneous representations of the place. We had them to follow descriptions made at the time and observe other structures that take inspiration from the palace in some capacity, such as the Church of Ravenna and the Palace of Aachen. Okay. Concept of the throne room. The overall shape of our interpretation is quite similar to the Palace of Aachen, but we opted to optimize the shape so that it could be better captured by our throne room camera setup. So the dome is probably a bit lower than it would have been at the time. We also knew we wanted to decorate the room with mini mosaics, as was the fashion at the time. Man, that's beautiful. Instead of copying extant mosaics, we opted to create our own version inspired by surviving examples. We wanted to have bigger individual mosaic bits. If we had made the individual tiles as small as they were in real life, they'd become unreadable from a distance as being a mosaic. Here we can see the constituting texture maps to make up a mosaic created by hand by our 2D artists. I'm sorry about the coughing today, by the way. It's not me using my voice. I've just had a cough since yesterday. I don't know where it came from. I went for a walk, I came back with lunch, and then I had a cough all afternoon, so maybe it was just city air. For the trims and patterns that frame the architecture and make up the more geometric parts of the mosaic, we created a variety of trim sheets and materials. Ooh, textures. For subject matter, we knew from contemporaneous descriptions the apse was dominated by Christ on a lyre throne. We also knew emperors, saints, and angels were represented, as well as verdant fields of flowers. When it came to deciding which figures to display, we wanted to do a nod to the fact that those mosaics were removed during the time of Anachronism, and then restored before our game's starting date. We went with some staunch defenders of icons, such as the Irene of Athens and Theophanes the Confessor. We also included some classic characters such as Justinian, Constantine, Saint Helen, and Demetrius of Thessalonica. Ah, that's looking so cool. I love this floor pattern too. Don't have to apologize for coughing, but the reassurance that you're probably okay is nice. That was my intention. Also to apologize for the coughing, but if it gets too bad, I will mute for my own sake. Also, hi Nissa, good to see you. From the writings of an emissary to the Byzantine court, we got reports of chirping mechanical birds and roaring metal lions. We have done our part in emulating these marvels, as the golden lions flanking the throne of Solomon will intermittently bang their tails on the ground and roar. We also added the mechanical birds and the water organ as a court artifact. What? That's cool as hell. Some of the new statue assets that have been found in the Byzantine court. It can be found. Assuming this is Constantine, I don't know the other two off the top of my head. It does have the Cairo, so that would be my guess. Besides the terrain rework mentioned in the previous dev diaries, our 3D environment team has populated Anatolia and Greece with a variety of special buildings. Special buildings. We had great inspirations to draw from such monasteries built against sheer cliffs or ancient temples repurposed as Orthodox churches. Okay. Ooh, the troglodytic settlements. These are really interesting. I don't remember enough about them to explain, and I might be getting them confused with a different settlement than the one they mean, so I'll hold this off. But some of the ancient settlements of Anatolia are really fascinating. I mean, there's a couple settlements that are straight up like Dwarf Fortress shit. Built, carved into the soft stone of the hillside. Really fascinating. Greek culture holdings now have unique graphics distinguished from generic Mediterranean ones. Ooh, that's a pretty castle. You can now see the characteristic warm colors, red striped walls, and rounded roofs. New table! New HUD is cool too, but new table. This is very evocative. This is a vibe. Oh, these are grapes. I wasn't sure what they were. Cool. The HUD's nice too. Our environment team created a Byzantine version of the map table to make for an even more immersive experience for our players. The lamps and silverware are inspired by surviving pieces of Byzantine craft. The sword and the bag of gold on the rightmost area of the table are a nod to the adventurer aspect of the expansion. While playing as a Greek character, players will also enjoy a mosaic-inspired HUD skin. Nature motifs are depicted by bits of colorful tiles. Some of the HUD elements have also been reworked to be modular, so it's easier to add new buttons on the side panels and currencies on the top. Hopefully modders can make good use of that. All those objects on the table look easy to manipulate and move, say if they need to make room for a larger map. True. I mean, again, this torn edge, it just feels... It's so taunting. The UI team also dedicated some time to making the game look and feel better by improving on some older features. Toasts have been reworked. They are now more clearly color-coded so the player can tell if they've failed or succeeded on an event quite more clearly. Toasts are also built in a way that they vary in size according to the amount of information to be displayed, which means you'll get less hidden results marked by nondescript ... Fantastic. Color-coded. Court grandeur decreased red. Court amenity setting invalidated as blue. Alliance formed green. That's going to take me some time to recognize and internalize, but that might be useful. Alerts are now color-coded as well. so players will have a clear distinction of when they are being offered an opportunity, purple, if it's something that needs their immediate attention, red, or if they have a boon they can click to collect, green. Purple, red, green. Were they not purple, red, and green before? I feel like this is what we've had. Interesting. We've also reworked all of the event headers. Icons were made crisper, design improved. The mosaic header itself is now colored differently depending on which type of event the player is engaged with. Splintered Crusade. In defiance of all common love for Christ and spurning the cause of Pope Alexander, their beloved Bishop of Rome, a faction of Latin Crusaders now challenge our empire. Oh shit, it's real. Do they not know how very long our imperial armies have served as the bulwarks of Christendom? May the strength of Heraclius protect us now. May the severed heads of King Bela, Serene Doge Marco, and the pretender Theodora soon rest by the throne of Solomon. St. George guard us well against this Latin greed, this folly that threatens our very existence. Crimes of Passion. Rounding a little cluster of tents as I leave for the supply tent, I come across a gaggle of followers having dinner around a small hearth. Curiously, both Anna and Theodophano are amongst them, neither of whom particularly enjoy one another's company. Before I have time to ponder such a strange quirk of seating, Theophano mutters something inaudible, only for the whisper to send Anna into a blind rage. With a flash, a weapon is drawn and blood is about to be spilled. We'll now hand the Dev Diary over to Ernesto Lopez, our audio director, to tell us more on the audio work for Roads to Power. Music Player. Hey everyone, we're thrilled to share some exciting news about the latest expansion for CK3, and today we're focusing on something truly special, the music. As you dive into the new content, we want to give you a peek behind the curtain at the fascinating process that brought this soundtrack to life. One of the standard elements of this expansion is the incorporation of the Orthodox chants. Ooh. A unique and evocative addition that adds a profound layer to the game's atmosphere. We had the incredible opportunity to collaborate with Professor Dr. Konstantin Nikolopoulos, a renowned expert in Orthodox music. Together with our talented composers from Audinity, Vandrik Suth, and Robin Berner. No, that's not Suth, that's Suth. I don't remember how to pronounce this one. Robin Berner, we embarked on a journey to capture the essence of these ancient chants. The recording process was something truly extraordinary. The team, alongside Professor Dr. Nikolopoulos, ventured into the Salvorsche in Munich, Germany, where they recorded these chants live. This wasn't your typical studio session, it was raw, unstructured, and entirely authentic. With no predefined tempo or strict direction, the music was allowed to evolve organically from the live performance. What emerged was a soundtrack that not only captures the emotional depth of Orthodox chants, but also seamlessly integrates the signature Crusader Kings 3 vibe, a blend of medieval authenticity with a modern twist. Audinity deserves huge credit for how they approached this. They managed to maintain the integrity of the chants while infusing them with what we like to call a modern medieval sound. It's a unique blend that feels both timeless and fresh, perfectly encapsulating the spirit of Crusader Kings 2. The new main theme is a testament to this, showcasing the power and presence of Professor Dr. Nikolopoulos' performance in a way that is both majestic and haunting. But that's not all, we're also introducing a brand new music player for CK3. This has been a highly requested feature, and we're excited to finally bring it to you. The initial release will offer basic functionality, allowing you to have greater control over your in-game music. Whether you want to queue up specific tracks or mix and match songs from the base game with those from the Byzantine Empire expansion, the music player gives you that agency. You can enable or disable tracks at your discretion, allowing you to tailor your auditory experience to your exact preferences. Sick. This is great. We believe the music player is a fantastic addition, and we're committed to continuing its development based on your feedback. It's a significant step forward in gaining you more control over how you experience the rich musical landscape of Crusader Kings 3. So dive into the new expansion, enjoy the incredible new music, and explore the music player to make your game soundtrack truly your own. We can't wait to hear what you think and to continue refining these features with your input. Bit short, still took us almost an hour to get through. But here we go. I think that this is what did they say? Maintain the integrity of the music while infusing it with what we like to call modern medieval sound. I think this is very emblematic of their outlook so far for the rest of the game's soundtrack. This is certainly something they do, and I've heard from people who are more experienced with the musical side of historiography than I am, that this is definitely kind of the case. A lot of the soundtrack is fairly authentic, but there's also a lot of it that sounds like what they think we think medieval music should sound like, which often is done so at the expense of accuracy. So I don't know. I feel like bringing this up because it's something that I was made aware of fairly recently, and so it was on my mind while reading this part. I don't have an opinion on whether that's a good, bad, or neutral thing. You know, that's kind of the business, I guess, and I don't have a thought on the value of it. I personally would love to see purely authentic music just to experience that. But they are selling a product, and the product is selling a vibe. And if that vibe doesn't feel like what we think being part of this time period is, I'm repeating myself now, then they're not selling the product that people are expecting. So, hey Fer, good to see you. Anyway, I think that's everything for this segment, and we're almost at ad break, so that's perfect. Everybody, if you're watching this on YouTube, drop a like and a follow and subscribe and whatever I'm supposed to say. I don't remember. Comments. Let me know what you think down below. And check me out on Twitch, where this was recorded. Those of you on Twitch, we're going to run a quick ad, and then we will... Disco at Discord, yes. Hit up the Discord as well. It's the best place to know when I go live, and it's a great community of queer folks, history nerds, and queer history nerds. And we get into a lot of fun over there. So check that out as well. Twitch, we're going to jump back into the game. YouTube, I will see you next week.